Listen up, bro! Fans have found a strange criticism of the dialogue in The Way of Water, and you'll never guess what it could be. Unless you've been living under a giant rock on a planet far, far away, you are probably aware that James Cameron's blockbuster Avatar: The Way of Water has hit theaters across the United States.
We are back together 13 years later. Pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is, right?
The online discussion around the movie has been mostly favorable, with plenty of praise mixed in with a few critiques, namely the relatively thin plots and more than 3-hour runtime. The second installment in James Cameron's planned 5-film arc also earned kudos for the stunning visual effects and its criticism of Earth's wasteful capitalist ways.
What does Ava's heartbeat sound like?
Mighty.
However, some fans are pointing out that a particular scripting choice is at best unintentionally hilarious and at worst kinda distracting. Much of Avatar: The Way of Water centers on the children of Jake Sully and Neytiri, as well as the teenagers of the seafaring Metkayina clan. While the dialogue seems to be one of the most criticized aspects of the film in general, the frequent use of the word bro by the male teenage characters had many viewers cringing in their seats. In the official discussion thread for the film on the movie subreddit, one user wrote, "Bro, I lost count of how many times they called each other bro." Another user observed, "That's how teenagers talk. Loved it." One Redditor was less gracious, commenting that the overuse of bro was their biggest gripe about the movie. They said, "Why do they talk like that? They wouldn't have gotten that from Jake. He is too old to talk like that. Seems like an old man writing characters to relate to a modern teenage audience."
How do you do, fellow kids?
James Cameron is 68 and co-screenwriter Rick Jaffa is 66, of course. So this user seems spot on with their analysis. Another user was more accommodating to the choice and wrote, "That's actually how people talk. I'm 28 and I still start a ton of sentences with bro when I'm hanging with my friends." While not every commenter volunteered their age, those up on more modern slang asserted that teens really don't say bro anymore. One Redditor said, "Bruh is the actual saying these days." The point raised about how the teenagers would have learned such language is valid. These characters do not have American pop culture to learn from. And it's a bit of a stretch to think that Jake would have been calling his own sons bro while they were growing up. Though that's not entirely out of the question. As one Reddit user posited, well, they did learn an entire language from a self-proclaimed jarhead. Even if Jake himself didn't instill the usage of the word bro in his kids, there are other justifications for its frequent usage. Jake isn't the only Earthborn being living on Pandora among the Na'vi. A few of the scientists featured in the first film, including fan favorite Dr. Norm Spellman, also chose to stick around the planet in the wake of the first battle with the Sky People. Jake's children and Spider are shown to have a convivial relationship with these English-speaking humans, so it's possible they could have picked up on their slang over the years. That would also explain why the slang feels dated, if adults like Jake and Norm are their only reference for American culture. Another potential explanation: at the beginning of the film, Jake narrates to the audience that he understands the Na'vi language so well that it may as well be English, which essentially becomes a convenient workaround for the movie's English dialogue.
You do not know the sea. We will learn your ways.
If that's the case, perhaps the English we're hearing isn't actually what's being said, and bro is a translation of a more appropriate Na'vi word. One Reddit user even attempted to figure out what the Na'vi equivalent would be, writing, "I looked up a translator. Brother in Na'vi is to smookan. I cannot decide what I like the thought of more if I were hearing it in their native language. Mookan, can, to sm, or to smoo. I like to smoo. It sounds silly."